This is Larry with ManCave Mayhem. Today we're doing another install on the CT125, and today it's going to be the USB plug. Where a lot of people are putting these in is right up here where they've got a provided hole there. Has a rubber grommet in it. You pop out the rubber grommet, and a lot of people have to fit these in. I think this one's going to fit okay without doing any cutting or filing on it. So we'll give that a shot. So we'll get that started, and I'll show you kind of how I'm going to do it. The particular plug that I got has an on-off switch on it, so I'm going to just run it directly to the battery. That could be good, could be bad. I don't know. There's other ones that you can run to the headlight, and it turns on when you turn the bike on. I kind of wanted one that I could also run when the bike's off, so I opted for this one. Hopefully it works out fine. And on a quick note, I can push the button and see what the voltage is on my battery. So that's one reason I wanted to do that. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Check us out at Instagram at ManCave_Mayhem. Now let's get on with the video and get this baby installed. All right, the tools you're gonna want for this project are some tapes. I use this extreme tape. It's kind of a friction tape, really flexible. It sticks to itself, but it's non-adhesive. Got it off of Amazon. This is some cloth tape. I didn't use this, but you can use this to keep it from rubbing in certain locations. Probably some heat shrink. 5mm hex head to remove that. Screw in the middle of the cover. You're going to want a Phillips head screwdriver. I use this for the push pin, and then a pry tool, plastic pry tool preferably, and then you don't mar the surface of the plastic up. And then I use these needle nose too to cut some of the wire that I fished through. Oh, and you probably will want maybe some wire to fish some of that electrical wire through. But that's going to do it on that. First thing you're going to want to do, if you haven't already, is remove your rubber plug or the rubber grommet from this area right here up by your triple tree. Next thing, you're going to want to test this for fitment. Now all these plugs are a little different. I think this one's going to fit with a little finagling. So I'm going to just check this fit. This is kind of plastic, so it's a little flexible, and it looks like I could probably get this threaded in without sanding it or filing it, but I could be wrong. It feels like it's going in. And sure enough, there it is. It's all the way in. Hopefully that doesn't beat me up on the threads. So we got that in. It's got a rubber cover on it. Once you get that in, then we're going to figure out where we want to route this. I'm running this direct to the battery, so that's what we're going to do, is we're going to find a good routing directly to the battery. So let's get that started. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take our 5mm Allen wrench and take this Allen bolt out. So let's get that out. Once that's out, you have a little push pin thing here. I like to take a sharp object and push the center of that in. When you push the center of that in, it makes a pop sound, and that releases that pin, takes the pressure off that pin. Then you can take a tool, maybe a screwdriver. I like using these plastic door tools because it removes that, and that's how this works. You can see how that pops out. When you reinsert it, you pop it back like that, slide it in, and then pop the pin flush. Then when you remove it, you push the pin in, and that releases it again. Kind of a nifty little pin. Once that's done, this cover should come off relatively simple. You want to be really careful with this plastic cover. As you're accessing this plastic cover, just know that there's going to be like 3 tabs here, one in the front, and these tabs right here can break off really easy. So once you got this loose, I'm going to bring you around to the other side and show you what we need to do to get that off. And you're going to want to pay some attention to this right in this area here. There's a little hook loop that is solid and plastic and really likes to break. So we're going to want to slide that forward. It doesn't pop up. So we're going to kind of slide it forward, then it can come out. But I'll show you how we're going to do that. Hopefully I can get it out without breaking it. It's one thing that I don't like about this bike is the way they did the plastics. Plastics can be a pain sometimes. So we're going to want to try to slide this forward as much as possible. And it's a good chance you can break it. I really don't want to break it, but I think I got it loose now. So now that comes out like that, but you can see that You can see that clip right there, how it's got a little hook to it. So we got that out. Now what we're trying to access is the battery here, and you can see right there how hokey that is. They've got that thing shoehorned in there for sure. No doubt about it. So it's got this plastic cover on to kind of keep everything in line. And it looks to me like there's a screw that holds that plastic cover on. Hopefully we can get to it without having to access too much, but we're gonna go ahead and show you what we need to do next. I think this is an Allen screw. This side is loose, but that Allen screw's you gotta take it out with an Allen screw to get this cover off, and that's what we're gonna do next. Well, I've got the number 5 Allen key going into that Allen screw that's securing that plastic cover over the battery. I just want you to see the angle that it goes in on. But that Allen screw, you can see that Allen head right there. It's kind of hidden, but right there. All right, now that we got that off, you can kind of swing this up out of the way. You can see there's the positive side right there, and the negative side's right here. And now this is where we're going to want to hook our leads for our USB to. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to loosen these, take these off, and connect the leads to it. But now we kind of want to look for a route to fish the wires through, and we're probably going to go through either this side or the other side of the bike. And there's guides for the cables on both sides, so we'll probably run something through here on this side since the USB plug's right there. But we're also going to look for something to cover that USB or that cable with. I'm not going to leave them just bare. We'll probably find some black housing to put over this shrink wrap or something. So we'll get that started. All right, now that I've got this all secured, I've got the wires routed to the proper location on the back side of this. I'm running some heat shrink. I don't have a lot of heat shrink. You can do what you want to do, but I'm going to wrap this with some of that friction tape, and then I'm going to run it down here and run it under this plastic cage or this plastic housing to get it back to the battery. So that's what we're doing next. We're going to get that done. We'll route that over this handle, this clip right here, the wiring clip, and that should manage those wires, and then we can run it right down to the battery. So we'll do that next. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken this fine little piece of wire right here, and I fished that through to where I want it to go. Now I'm going to connect these leads to this and pull it through, and that'll make it a little simpler just for getting it through. Sometimes you can fish them through. I just found it easier to do it this way, so that's why I'm going to do it. Okay, now that you got those fished through, it's going to look something like this. You got the red is positive, the black is negative. You're going to go to the positive side of the battery and the negative side of the battery, and you are going to hook those up. Once you get those leads hooked up, you should be able to button this up. So we'll get those hooked up first, and we'll get back to you. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, I will carefully disconnect the negative and the positive side and then reconnect them. Now that those are connected, we're going to take a look and see, wow, we got voltage, and we're showing 12.6 volts. Now let's see if this shuts off. Yeah, it shuts off too. So the only negative thing I can see about this is that you could accidentally leave it on and drain your battery. With this CT125, no big deal. You got a Kickstarter, right? But I don't think that's going to be an issue. And I don't know how much I'm going to really use this, but I thought it would be nice to have. And it's pretty cool. I think it was only about 15 bucks on Amazon. So that is a cool setup. So now you're going to want to, from that point, you're going to want to clean all this up and then just reverse the steps and get this thing put back together. So we'll tidy this up now, probably use a zip tie to get take up the slack on this and secure this wiring, and we'll button this all up. Now what I've done is I've just taken up the slack on this wiring, got this cover back on, and I put a zip tie on this and just kind of zip tied it out of the way. You might want to do it a little cleaner. I'm not too worried about it. It's not going to be exposed. Also, you want to check and make sure you got plenty of slack here, so when you turn your wheels, you're not going to get any obstructions or any problems with that. But other than that, I think we can call this a done. All right, folks, that's going to about wrap it up for this video on the installation of our USB plug for the CT125. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Check us out at Instagram at ManCave_mayhem. And just remember, I'm just a man in a cave causing mayhem. Thanks again for watching, folks.